Yo, what up, guys? It's here with a brand new champion guide for Inquisitor Shamael, a sacred order champion who has kind of made a name in Raid Shadow Legends for himself by being one of the best champion you can bring in the Hydra Clan Boss against a particular head. All right. It took a while for me to do this video because I didn't get this champion for over a year, close to 2 years, and finally I got him recently, built him out, and I started enjoying what he brings to the Hydra, and that's what this video is only gonna be about. I've seen this champion being used sometimes, very rarely, in PvP content or in general dungeon content, but the most highest number of players in the raid community, but 99.9% will use the champion in the Hydra, and we build him specifically for that content. So if you're thinking about using him in other content, yes, he does pack a punch with his big hits. Let's check out his skills right here and see what he brings to you in raid, so you can know where to use him first of all. So this is more like even if you're a beginner or an endgame player, you will still be using this champion all the way. So it's a champion that is totally worth putting books on all his skills, well, at least the important ones, so it can help out your team. So on its A1, what makes this champion so special? Let me just not waste your time. Let me head straight to the passive right there. This is what makes him special. Each critical hit fills this champion turn meter by 7.5%. That's a normal turn meter fill, right? Remember, it's each critical hit. So if he hits multiple times, he will just fill his turn meter multiple times. So whenever an ally receives fear or through fear, which will happen when you're using it against the Hydra, I think the boss that does that is called Head of Torment, right? Yes, Head of Torment is the one that does place that fear or through fear on your allies. So whenever that happens, placing a debuff through fear on your allies, this champion will instantly remove the debuff and fill the allies turn meter by 15%. I thought they were supposed to change this wording to be a little bit different, right? Because let's say your 5th champion on the row, you know, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 3rd champion is usually the one at the middle, right? The one is in the leader slot. If your 5th champion gets fear and he gets it cleansed, your 5th champion's turn meter doesn't fill. It's the champion that is in the leader slot turn meter that gets filled, according to what I hear about this champion. So they should really change this wording. That's what it brings up. When this champion is in your team, none of your allies will have 3 fear or fear on them. Even if you see it happen, it's just a split second before he cleanses it. This skill does not say it has to be a stun for it to happen. It will happen as soon as they get that debuff on them. It doesn't have to be a stun for it to do this cleanse of the fear or true fear on them. So that's what I built him for the Hydra content, and that's where majority of the player base will be using him for. On his A1, which he will be using a lot right here, has a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of any random buff on the target. So if you have some Hydra heads that have stolen some buffs from you, he might be able to, well, not all of them, but the ones he's hitting multiple times, he'll be able to decrease the duration of their buffs and make it run out faster. So each time an enemy places a debuff on an ally, uses this skill against that enemy. These counter attacks will only deal half of the damage else, to be crazy, and cannot be critical. So you'll be seeing a lot of red right there. If there are multiple champions on this team with this skill, only one champion will counter attack. So he won't have multiple of them hitting like crazy. Only one of them will do it. All right, let's see his A2. Attacks one enemy 3 times, will ignore 25% of the target's defense. This is what he brings to PvP content that I said nukes a lot, nukes extremely hard. So if you are looking for a single target nuker to build, maybe he's your guy. But he has conditions. Will ignore a further 25% of this target's of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. So if the more buffs you have, another additional 25% ignore defense. So places a true fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this target kills an enemy, which he will do. So if it's target the weakest link or their damage dealer and just take them out with this big hit, and all the other allies, all the other enemies right there will get that true fear. So that's a useful skill that some people build him for PvP content, but that's not what I'm going to be showing you in this video. I'm going to be showing him strictly for Doom and for Hydra content. Why? Because I have other champions who are doing very well for single target or even AoE damage in PvP content. So I always encourage you to build champions for specific areas where you're going to use them in. That's a better way to build them than building a hybrid where their gear will not as be good as for PvP or good as for Hydra. What example am I giving? If you're building this champion for PvP content, you might want to go towards the Savage sets, right? So he can extremely hit hard. But if you're using him for Hydra content, you might want to tank a little bit tanky to keep him alive. So that's why I say you can't really take the two ways. Choose one, PvP content or Hydra. I recommend Hydra content. Alright, for his aura, he increases ally accuracy in Doom Tower battles by 60%. This champion has been in the game for a while before even the Hydra came out, right? So, or is it the same time as the Hydra came out? I forget. He was added to the game when? It doesn't say. Before Hydra released into Raid, Shamael was used, so he was already in the game before Hydra got released. Alright, for his blessing, I went with cruelty, of course, because single targets hits that he'll be doing, he'll be able to help us decrease the defense of these Hydra heads so we can hit them harder. For artifact sets, why not give him this special set? Now you don't have to go with this set, like provoke set, like I said, but since I was building for the Hydra, I just wanted to focus on that. My team specifically that I use for the Hydra, where he belongs, does not have a provoke champion to deal with that head that places that does the cleanse, that needs to be provoked. So that's why I brought him as one of the champions that can help me place provoke on that head. Even if you have nobody else doing provoke or you have somebody else doing provoke, he can also be in a provoke set to help you, be your second provoker at least for that head. I'm not that scared about that head, but if you get it provoked, you will do more damage, don't get your debuff cleanse and all that. So that's the set that I would recommend on this champion to help you with that head that needs to be provoked in the Hydra. So what other sets are you going to put on him? Basically anything that will make him a little bit tanky. So a good example might be lifesteal if you're still in the beginner stages of Raid Shadow Legends, so where you don't have a lot of revive or healing coming in. Lifesteal can keep this champion alive with all the multiple hits he'll be doing in the Hydra. That won't happen a lot in content like Clan Boss or Demon Lord Clan Boss. So I'm just looking for one set at least to recommend. Relentless could make that his A3 come around, his A2 come around often, but we probably have more champions who appreciate Relentless set more than he will. Toxic set is one way to go if you're the content you're beating will take damage from poisons. The Hydra, they don't take that much damage from poisons. So he's the first champion or the second I'm actually building in provoke sets, so I think this is extremely useful for the Hydra, and a lot of people do recommend that you put him in this set. Stalwart set will keep him alive for general content, especially in the Hydra where AoE hits are coming in left and right, but I have revivers and healers. That's why I'm not worried about his survivability. But if you don't have revivers and healers, make sure you put him in a set that will make him tanky and stay alive. Immortal set will always be awesome for champions who are trying to build tanky. So make your choice, just make sure you make him a little bit tanky. For a total start, I was going towards a little bit more resistance. I focused on resistance a little bit. Right here you see my resistance is above 400 for those Hydra heads, so he is not going to be one of those champions who have debuffs on him and can't do anything. So no provoke on him, no decrease no weaken on him, no decrease attack and all that stuff. He will resist all of it. Why did I stack up this much resistance? Because he doesn't need accuracy. Yes, from all his skills that I read out, none of them says he places provoke or nothing. So none of his skills say he places any other debuffs. The provoke set does not need accuracy to land that provoke set. So that's why. Speed, you want to go 250, 220, but I wasn't worried about that. I just went with what I had because that provoke set is kind of trash. That's why my speed couldn't go above this. For HP and defense, I should be about 3k defense though, but I'll be fine with 2004, I guess. That's kind of squishy, but I'll be fine with this. So that's the stats. If I show you right here, I don't have accuracy banner. That's resistance on the banner and resistance on the chest. That's how I was able to get this high amount of resistance. I did put this set on him, immortal set, to give him a little bit of sustain, just a little bit. Crit rate right there, more resistance, sub stats, speed boots, of course, to get to the required speed. And I even have not even glyphed up this gear. Damn, I will glyph it up so it can get a little bit more stats. Now for his masteries, this is straightforward. A lot of people give advice on how to beat that Hydra head that places that fear. You don't want to kill that head that much super fast. That's why you didn't see me building high crit rate and high crit damage. But to do a little bit of damage to add to the number of damage you do in the Hydra heads, this is the main way this champion will be doing damage right there in the Hydra. And that is from War Master hits that he'll be hitting repeatedly. So that's one way to do damage. Some people might argue that since he's doing so many hits, why not just go in with Giant Slayer? That's viable, I guess, somewhere, but I'll rely on War Master for now. So that's my masteries, and I did say he's blessing cruelty. And now it's time for us to test him in some content. And what by some content I mean the Hydra. There's no need to take this champion into the campaign or dungeons to show you how it works. No, if the enemies don't have a fear, there is no need to bring this champion along. So I'll be going to the Hydra. This rotation does have a fear. So when you're talking about your Hydra, normal, hard, and all that, you have multiple teams, right? He comes into a team that does not need, what do you call this now? Perfect veil. Because one way to deal with that head is to place perfect veil or veil on your allies. So right here, this team does not have any veil or perfect veil or anything like that. So, but if you see a team like this, where is it? This one. There's a leader right there with her veil, right? So there is no need for Inquisitor Shamael to be in a team that has somebody like that. Another team that Inquisitor Shamael should not be in is a team that with Drex Rector Drat, you know, she does have that veil. So you shouldn't bring somebody with him that will take care of the fear. So another thing that I don't want to pair him with is a team that has block, debuff, buff, right? So if you have block, debuff, buff, you don't get that fear as often as you want to, that's also something to note. All right, let me just run this sample battle. I'll not run it all the way to the end. I just want to see him in live action, how his skills is going and what he's actually bringing to the battle, so you can decide whether it's worth building for that content or you want to build him for general content. I'll put it on slow speed so we can actually see this in battle, in action. I want to see when we hit this head. This is the head right here, the head of Torment, right? Torment. That actually torments you really, really bad. But once you hit that head, boom. Did I get feared? Yes, I got feared, and he cleansed it immediately and he retaliated. I retaliate, he retaliates again. This is all one turn. 158 yeah, 158,000 damage from just one turn. He did all that damage, and he's not even a damage dealer, just basically from War Master hits. All right, let me place my HP bond. Now I don't want to kill that head too fast. That's something you should note. If you're targeting anybody else in this Hydra, don't try to hit this one. No, target this everybody else than the head that is placing the fear, because you want to be feared. He goes in again for the counter attack. Let's see it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it. So he keeps hitting and see how many HP is left on that head. So that's why I love this champion so much. And of already 2 turns, we're already at 400. So easy to do damage with Inquisitor Shamael. So before I had him, I had to deal with cleansing the head. And now let's see if we can provoke the head. Let me hit with this triple hit and see how much damage you can do from there. Yes, that's provoke. So despite me not having anybody in this team that has provoke, I can still deal with that head that normally cleanses all this debuff. Inquisitor Shamael That's how you use him, the best way to use him in Raid Shadow Legends. Let me know in the comments if you use him in any other way besides the champion that takes care of this fear for you for the Hydra. I'm not a Hydra expert. I just like to put together champion that worked in my team and get the minimum damage I can get to get my Hydra chest and call it a day. So I'm going to end it right here, and that's what it brings to your team. You can put it on auto and come back and see how much damage Inquisitor Shamael has helped you do in your team. As you can see the team right here, he's one of 2 champions who is doing damage, Geomancer and him, and that's how the Hydra battle goes. All right, I'll end it right here. Hopefully you found this one useful. I know there are many ways to use this champion in Raid Shadow Legends, but this is the best way I feel is best to use him. I've been seeing a lot of people hype him up, but I didn't have the opportunity to test him out since last year when the Hydra dropped. But finally right now I have opportunity to test him out and now add him to part of my teams, so it can be a 3rd team, not longer when you have 2 strong teams and 1 weak team. Right now I have 3 strong Hydra teams because he helped me not worry about Veil or Fear. All right, help me hit like in this video right now if you found it useful. I do Raid Shadow Legends content on a daily basis, so make sure you subscribe for more content. Later guys.